I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Today I'm going to show you how to install the Warp 9 KRX1000 seat hinge. Now what's nice about these is they make it easy to remove or just tip your seat forward in your KRX. Now that's an issue that some people have since the stock seat is held in place by 4 bolts. So this one, again, it tips forward, or if you want to completely remove it, you just have 2 pins. That's going to allow you to access your air filter or anything you're storing behind your seats. Now the install process is simple. There's no drilling required, and the only other thing you need to know is you've got a couple options with these. We're going to talk about that later, and these are sold per seat. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. To do this job, you're going to need some common hand tools. So we've got a 12, 13, and 14 millimeter socket. We've got 2 millimeter, 5, and 6 millimeter Tusk T-handle Allens. And we're also going to be using a number 3 Phillips and some safety glasses. To start out, you want to pull up on the lever on your seat cushion and remove it. Now the next step you want to do before you order your kit, so you want to find out what size socket fits the mounting bolts for the seat. So on ours, we've got a 14 millimeter socket. That fits on perfect. That tells us that these bolts are going to have 10 millimeter threads, or 10 millimeter thread diameter. If you have a 12 millimeter socket that fits, it means you have the 8 millimeter thread diameter, and you need to order a different kit. So be aware of that before you order your kit. But from here, what we need to do is remove these 2 front bolts, and then we're gonna pull up on our adjuster, slide the seat forward, and remove the 2 rear bolts. Now with all the hardware out, we're gonna go ahead and remove the seat. So this is the Warp 9 KRX1000 seat hinge kit. It's going to be the same for the 10 and the 8 millimeter hinge kits. The only difference is going to be the size of the mounting bolts. So with that being said, we need to prep some stuff on the bench. Now, again, if you need one of these, they're available on our website and they're sold per seat. So the first thing we need to do is install the catch retainers onto these base plates. So the way this is going to sit in there, we've got a hole that's going to go to the back side of this notch. You want to stick your spring in there, set that in place, and then the taper is going to be facing up. Then once you have that in place, all you need to do, we have these dowels, and there's a little hole going through this. We're going to slide the dowel all the way through. Then we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other base plate. And then from here, we're going to take this stuff over to the machine. The next step is to set the base plates in place. The pivot is going to go towards the front. And then for the mounting bolts, the kit comes with a couple of different lengths. Now this is going to vary depending on whether you're doing the driver's side or the passenger side. So just match the mounting bolts with the hardware that you previously removed from the seat. So we know these gold ones are going to work good for us. Now we're just going to apply a little bit of Loctite to each of these golden bolts. We're going to thread them in and tighten them down. Now that the hardware is tightened, we're going to press these catch pins to the side. We have this cross tube, so there's a hole in each end of this. And we're going to slide those catch pins into it. When you set this into place, you want to make sure the cable is going forward, which ours is. And then these can go in as far as you want, but you want at least 1/8 of an inch of this pin sticking out the side. So we're going to stop about right there. This other one we're going to pull out just a little bit. Then once you have those pins where you want them, we have 2 set screws that are going to go in the back of the connecting rod. And we're going to apply a little blue Loctite to those as well. And we're just using our number 2 Allen to screw those down. Now where this cable runs, there's a screw right next to it. And we're going to remove that. And I'm just going to install the cable guide onto the cable. And we're going to reuse that screw. And then once you have that mounted up, you just want to pull on this. Make sure that these catches release. So everything's working correctly on ours. So we're going to go ahead and attach some brackets to the seat. Next, we're going to prep our seat. So these sliders One side, it's just going to slide freely. So if it fell out, it's going to slide right back in. This other side, to adjust it, you might have to lift up on the latch, but you want it all the way forward first. And then we've got 2 bolts and 2 nuts. So with these bolts, oh, that's a lot of Loctite. We're going to put just a drop of Loctite on each of them. Same thing with the nuts. So now we can take these base brackets and this stud, we're just going to go through the front mounting location. And we're going to loosely install one of the nuts. And all this hardware on the bottom for now, we're just going to leave it loose. We'll get this installed onto our brackets. And then once everything's adjusted up, we'll tighten everything down. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And then you have the catch pucks on the back. So we need to slide the brackets back. Now we've got enough room to get them installed. So with the catch pucks, the little tab is going to be facing down. And the tabs are going to be facing front to back as well. And now we can go ahead and bring this over to the machine. We're going to set it in place. We're going to put our pins in first. So we'll just start out by installing those 2 pins. Then we're going to let the back drop down into place. And you want to make sure those 2 pucks are lined up in the back. You can even pull on this cable to help them go down in place. And then once everything is lined up, you can go ahead and tighten down the hardware. So with the front tightened down, I'm going to slide the seat forward and we'll tighten the back. So now that I have the hardware tight, I'm going to go ahead and make sure this clicks down into place, which it does. If yours doesn't, you do have some adjustability with these bolts, so you can loosen them back up, move them where you need them, and then tighten them back down. Once you're clipped in, you can go ahead and reinstall the stock seat cushion. And that's how you install the Warp 9 KRX1000 seat hinge on your machine. It's simple to do, but if you have any questions about the install process, leave those down in the comments below. And if you need one of these seat hinges, you can find those on our website. We also offer free shipping on orders over $75. So go check that out and subscribe to our channel for more helpful content. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.